Huon was made to be a plugin for digital audio workstations. But then I always had this standalone version as a byproduct, and I tried to figure out how can I make use of, or what kind of features do I need, or what do I need to extend to make it also usable as a standalone version. And that made me figure out ways on how to use the parameters and stuff to also use it as a standalone version. It is, I could show you also in our video here how to use it and what is the difference exactly, for example.
And are you using the Huon plugin in Ableton Live or Logic, or what DAW are you using? What DAW are you using?
I'm using Ableton Live.
Okay,
and
yeah, that's my favorite.
Okay, yeah, and Bitwig Studio. I don't know if you heard of it.
I'm familiar with Bitwig. From what I understand, the Bitwig people used to work for Ableton or something, and then they left and they started their own company or something like that. It was some type of conspiratorial story, but either way, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, exactly. I also heard the same, and that's why they look pretty much not the same, but pretty similar, right?
Yeah.
I started with Ableton Live, then I switched to Bitwig, and now I'm switching back to Ableton, so I use both. I tried Logic and in the beginning also Fruity Loops and Cubase, but I stuck with Bitwig or Ableton because it's a more experimental approach, I feel.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Well, you know what? Since we didn't have an intro, I'll do an intro. So my name is Dr. Sahpreem, or Sahpreem A King. I am a multi-platinum music producer turned transpersonal psychologist and spirituality coach, and I make binaural beats, right? So I came across Daniel's product. I was doing some research. I got tired of trying to create binaural tones and isochronic tones in Ableton Live. I found it frustrating, and I said, well, there's got to be a better way, right? So what I did was I started searching the internet, and I came across a video with you, Daniel, and someone else. I forget who the other person was in the video, but then you were talking about this plugin, and I said, well, somebody has had made a plugin for this, right? I can't see the world being without this plugin. And then I discovered you, and I'm just like, all my prayers have been answered. So now I'm starting to integrate it into my workflow, but I'm still have a lot of questions around understanding, how it works and the differences between what I was already doing and the plugin. So, which brings us to this video.
Yeah, perfect. So nice. And I'm Daniel. I'm the developer of Huōn Studio. And I was working about 5 years on this plugin and the standalone version, and now it's finally done and it's out in the world. And I'm happy to introduce the plugin and how it works to everyone interested. We decided to do this video so that more people can get into how Huōn Studio works, how you can integrate it into your workflow. And that's why we're here. We want to talk about everything. We want to answer all the questions. And I feel like it would be enjoyable and fun to make it like a relaxing conversation about our background. If something pops up, everything is welcome, and I'm happy to start. Do you have questions to begin with?
Yeah. Do you have access to your DAW right now, so I can see it and kind of show you, or do you want me to pull something up on my end? Either way could work. I can.
Yeah, you can pull up something at your end.
All right. Let me go ahead, and what I need to do is open up. I'm gonna open up Ableton Live. So take a few minutes. But in the meantime, so one of the things I found very interesting about, when talking to you early on in this process is that this all came about as a result of you writing your master's thesis, right? I think that's pretty brilliant, right? Not too many people are in that frame of mind and saying, hey, well, I'm going to write about brain entrainment, but more succinctly how that works out from a coder's perspective or an engineer's perspective. How would I build this thing, right? Over the past few years, I have noticed, I discovered personally binaural beats, I want to say around 2012. I was kind of going through a lot personally, career-wise as well. Being a former, combat medic, I found a lot of peace and solace in meditation, but I also have ADHD, so it was very difficult for me to kind of sit still. And what I found was getting into binaural beats and brain entrainment, I was able to kind of find my own space or place in meditation, right? And then it became a thing where I wouldn't say addictive, but it became integrated as part of my daily routine, right? Every day I would listen to a binaural beat. I would find them on YouTube. And then I started understanding the differences between what is a binaural beat, what is the isochronic tone, what are solfeggio frequencies, and all of the above. And it's still, I'm still very much a novice, even though I've spent a lot of time understanding it and brain entrainment. But at the same time, I said, well, hey, these are people out there making them. I'm a music producer. Maybe I can make my own. What I found to be problematic was I didn't really particularly like the music. Sometimes it just seemed to be like too middle of the road. Sometimes it's just like I grew up in hip hop and R&B and rock and dance and all kinds of different stuff. And I wondered always if you could find a different way to introduce people to it via different styles of music. But then also during the same time, people started making apps. One of the ones that I came across that I really liked and I still use to this day is what is it called? And it's on my phone. I actually was listening to it this morning. It's called Beatfulness, right? But again, for me, the music is too plain, right? And I know, Daniel, you're a hip hop fan as well, right? Mm-hmm. From that, I became a fan of, chill and chill hop and, and lo-fi beats. And it was like, well, can you take those elements and then create space to where I can infuse a binaural beat in there and take you through this meditative journey and this mental journey in the same space. And again, this is what led me to finding the hidden gem. I don't know how many YouTube videos I watched, and I kept saying, oh man, who is this guy and what did he make, right? Like, this is awesome. But let me go ahead and pull up Ableton Live, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about.
Let me just, I have some inspiration because what you just said is so inspirational also for my journey. And here's, I think, where we resonate so much in using the software, because I came from pretty much a similar background, producing modern EDM, hip-hop, R&B music for many years, and then I started to search for more meaningful ways of producing music, and my main question was, how can I introduce healing frequencies into modern music production? That question is the core of the whole thing that I created there. And then I started to research. Then in my master's, that was the starting point for the subject for my master's thesis. And then I started researching, and I heard about binaural beats, isochronic tones. I noticed that there is scientific proof, and that's what my professors were asking about. And so I kept going this path, and here we are. And so now we can pull up Huon, I think, and see how we can work with this.
Yeah, I got it still pulling in the background. So Yeah, my Ableton is a little slow, but I also have my computer on firing on all cylinders right now. So let me go ahead and I'm still working it in the background. I think I shut it off. I did a hard reset earlier because I had way too many things happening. But let's go ahead and share and see what we have here. All right, so let's go share sounds. And I'm going to share my screen. Okay. And get it. Okay, so now you can see my whole screen here, right? Now, do you see the Huon plugin pulled up on the screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I was trying to understand is, well, I did notice that you can go all the way up to lambda, which is super cool, right? Because you don't really find a lot of stuff there, but and from what I understand is some of these, like the depth of the frequencies of how high and low you can go. Now I can tap into those Solfeggio frequencies, which are sometimes that I found in Ableton hard to achieve just using the generator. So let me show you the difference between the two, right? So I have this one here, and I'm gonna pull that off the screen, but then I'm gonna go into my and I'll show you what my first fundamental question is. And I apologize for this thing running so slow. I probably need to restart, but we're already in the mix, so why this thing is running super slow today.
Maybe because of Zoom.
Yeah, well, Zoom does, but I mean, I've pulled up full sessions in Zoom. I probably really need to restart, but it's all good. Let's see, instruments. Okay. Yeah, operator. Okay, so I have this binaural beat generator here, and then I think I have another one that I made too. Let's see. Let's go back to my rack. And I should pull up both of them because there's one in the operator. Okay, so I have these two here. So let me throw one in here, right? And then throw in another another MIDI. And I mean, I just have two that I made work based off of tutorials, right? And that general understanding is here I have the fixed frequency, and then I have it, left and right, and then I have it going through something else, and it's generating both of those tones. And in this one, I have it set here, right? For example, I want a 5 hertz frequency. I have it going through one at 20, 220 on the left side and 220 and 210 on the right side. So if I go in and I say I'm going to create a sound, a note, let's go to C3. It's going to go auto. It's going to be a terrible loop because we know that that's a terrible loop, right? And this is generating that. Now if I have on a stereo headphone, I got one on one side, one on the other side, and if I have on a stereo headphone set, that's going to make that 5 hertz in that ear, right? Mm-hmm. But what I don't understand about, now let's just say I wanted to achieve the same thing in Huon, and this is the part that I was struggling with, right? If I go into Huon, and let me pull that back on the screen, right? And I say I want to have 5 hertz here, right? So and that 5 hertz is going to fall in that theta range, right? So I want a theta range frequency, and in order for me to activate that, I can just put it on I think it's loop, right? And what I'm trying to understand is if this comes through this channel in stereo, let me close this up and kind of get a cleaner workstation here going. And let's see, right? Pull this guy back up here. Let's make it a little smaller. All right. So if this is going here, right? What is causing, because it's outputting at 5 hertz, what is that just the straight tone, or how is the binaural effect happening, right? Because from what I understand, in order for you to have that frequency, you're putting one tone in one ear, one in the other, and then in your brain makes the 5 hertz.
Yes.
What is the difference between that and what's happening here?
And can you also turn on your first example again?
Okay. So let me turn on my first example, which sounds different. The tone seems lower than, there. So I got that one. Now if I go to this one and I just say, this is another example. Let me go ahead and copy this over here. And let me take this one, and I'm just going to tune this one to 5, which I need to do that here. Let's go. I don't even think I can do that. Let's say tap it in. I don't even think that's possible, but let's see. Okay, 5. Nope. See, that's the problem here. If I try to do it with a straight tone in this generator here, it only drops down to 10 hertz, right? So I can't even do it on this one, but let's just say I use the one that I have set up here. So 220 and 210, and that should make 5 in your brain, right? So what I'm trying to understand, what is the difference between me having the tone coming out of Huon at 5 hertz versus the one that I'm creating with this, Ableton Live homemade binaural tone generator using an operator?
Okay, yeah, okay, I understand. So first of all, what I would suggest is not using the you press the loop button in Huon, right?
Yes.
I would recommend to also create a MIDI track for this, same as you did with the example from the Ableton example.
Okay.
Maybe you can just do it the same and just play this.
Okay. So yeah, we have a MIDI track. I just have it looping.
Yes. And now you can set the bass frequency with this MIDI note as well. So the height of this bass frequency you can adjust. And what you can do now is you can also play chords, for example, a C major chord, and the binaural beat will be within this chord. This is one example what you can do. So the thing is, in Ableton Live you can do lots of things now that wouldn't be possible the other way.
So if I wanted to make a C major chord, right? I don't know if that's C major. I'm probably going to get that wrong because I'm not a piano player, right? So no, that's not C major. It's... What is C major? And because again, not a musician, right?
Just like C, E.
Yeah, C, E.
And then
was it C, E, F or
some. This is C major.
So, yeah, hold on. Yeah, F. No.
But it's
okay.
It's fine. I think it's.
All right. Well, we'll just go with that. Okay. So now I have I can have a chord, and I can actually play the chords with the actual frequency.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's the thing. So so your approach with experimenting with Ableton was exactly my approach when I hadn't Huon before, and I wanted to experiment with binaural beats and how can I integrate them into my music production. And then I very quickly realized what I can't do.
Okay.
And I got so much inspiration. Or wouldn't it be cool to be able to do a chord and have the binaural beat within, and uh, everything that's possible with Huon came to me, and I thought, okay, I have to build this now. And what you can, so now you only have one parameter for setting the binaural beat.
Okay.
So you could do a parameter automation for this frequency slider, and you only have to manage one parameter. In your other example, you need to manage two parameters, right, at the same time, to get the state that you're aiming for. Does this answer your question, or can I go deeper with it? Do you have some more questions?
Well, no, yeah, you could, because again, what I'm trying to understand is, so rather than having your brain generate that frequency, I don't need to do it that way. I can just output the frequency directly through the Huon app, and you're going to get the same effect, or no?
No, in Ableton you have two tracks, right? One track is for the left audio and one for the right audio.
So you mean in this one? In
this example, yeah.
So, no. I just brought up two different versions.
Okay,
of
I understand. So
yeah.
One operator is only for the left side and one operator is for the right side. And that's exactly the setup within Huon as well.
Okay.
Exactly the same setup. So actually the binaural beats synthesizer within Huon also are actually two synthesizers, one for the left ear and one for the right ear. And you get the same result.
So how do I get that to work here? And that's the thing, is I'm not sure if I'm actually doing it correctly. So where should I be in terms of how I'm setting this up in Huon, right? Because I know, like, let's just say this is my new session and we're just focused here and I got my chord, right? And, these two lines, are they indicating how this is outputting from the left and right sides of that? Because you said there's two, so there's basically two synthesizers here. And why do I feel like I'm missing something? Because
because you resized
okay.
the two.
Okay,
yeah. The frequency graph shows you the left signal, which is red, and the right signal, which is yellow.
Okay.
So you can see what's happening. If you turn the binaural frequency a bit higher, then it's more obvious what's happening. Then you see now everything is set up that you have your bass frequency, the carrier frequency, so to say. And from this carrier frequency, left and right side are tuned in both directions.
Okay. That makes sense. That's what I was trying to understand. I didn't really get it, but now that's so much clearer, right? Okay, well, that answers that question. So now what can I do with some of these other things, right? Like, what would be the reason for me to change the sync BPM, or maybe let's just say if I want to change, or just change the pulse? Is that how do we get into like the state of making an isochronic tone using this tool?
Yeah,
say it like I know nothing about anything and this is my day one and I just want to start experimenting. How do I get there?
Yeah. So I can give you one little hint here. If you see in the binaural beat synthesizer this question mark, sign there. If you click this,
Oh,
every module has this help view where every parameter is explained, and you can use it. You can read the text while adjusting the parameters in this view.
I see.
Just a hint while you experiment with this.
That's super important for me. I didn't even notice that. Yeah, because most of the time I have it squeezed up like this. Didn't even notice that, so I have to make it a full size here in order to see that, and then now I have some basic instructions on what to do. So imagine how dangerous I will be in a few months, right? Now that I can read it. So some of the other things that I saw here, right? So you have like these different parameters, and here are these some basic starting points for a novice, just to say, hey, I want to make a binaural beat, and I want to do like this one based off of focus at 20 hertz, right? So 20 hertz is going to give me that beta, and is that going to give me a different start? So every one of these parameters are a different starting point for me to create a binaural beat, correct?
Yeah, correctly. Yeah, I can answer your question step by step. So one thing good to know is at any time, if you don't know what's happening, you can go to this tab and use the init action. So everything is back to defaults. That is very useful down there, like init.
Okay.
Then everything is by default. That's a very good idea if you start with something new, you want to know what's happening. That's the default. That's just a simple sinus tone when you press this. From there is a good point to start using binaural beats or isochronic tones. You can also use the other presets that are available there, and you can also save your own presets. If you experiment with parameters and you like something, then you can just press the save button.
Okay.
And use your preset then over and over again.
So what would be the use case where I would want to choose a binaural beat over a monaural beat, or even an isochronic tone?
Let's go to the main user interface again. Then I can explain it better to you.
Okay.
A lot of topics. A lot of topics. It depends on what you want to achieve. So I would recommend, or I find myself when I creating a project with integrating binaural beats or isochronic tones, before I start, I think about what I want to achieve and what kind of frequencies I want to use. So if I produce a track that is mainly heard on headphones, then I could use binaural beats. If I produce a track that is mainly heard on speakers, then binaural beats is not such a good idea. Maybe
so
I
use
use
go with like
monaural beat or isochronic tone.
Okay.
Actually, monaural beat and isochronic tones are pretty much the same. It's just I would say just a little bit of the impulse character is different, but it's almost the same, I would say.
Okay.
These considerations I would make before I create a project, and then there is this amazing feature in Huon that you can merge between isochronic tones and binaural beats. So if I almost every time when I create a project, or I would merge or blend isochronic tones with binaural beat, so that I have 50% isochronic tone and 50% binaural beat, so that binaural beat, that both are working at the same time. If I'm on speakers, the isochronic tones work. If I'm on headphone, if I'm listening with headphones, then both will work at the same time.
So let me stop you right there for a second to recap. So I guess what we're saying here is that you got to start with the end in mind. What is it that you're looking to achieve, and how that audience is going to consume what you've created, right? So if I'm looking and the objective is the user is going to have on stereo headphones, right? Where I want to create a binaural beat. Now, if the outcome is it's going to be listened through speakers, maybe I'm sitting at my desk at work, or I'm listening in my car, that's where you want to use a monaural beat or an isochronic beat, tone. And what you're saying now is that for a dual purpose, I could create a meditative piece of music that incorporates both the monaural and the binaural simultaneously, so that user, if I'm maybe I'm listening on my iPhone and I have on a pair of headphones, but then I go out to my car and then my phone connects to the car, I can still listen to that beat, but now it's a binaural beat. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I love that. So how would I achieve that at the same time?
Yeah, we can just do a very simple example with blending monaural beat and binaural beat. For that, you can just play the loop with the chord and set the frequency, let's say, to 4 Hertz.
Okay, so let's see if I go here now. Go set this. Now, should I get in the habit of setting the frequency here or setting it here? Because I noticed you have both options, and then I can also just click and what I love about this is that so I can go in here into the lambda, gamma, beta, alpha, theta, delta, and that's epsilon.
Yeah.
Okay. So I can say, well, hey, I know that binaural beat is going to be in between delta and theta, so I'll maybe say theta, and then I can just I can either key in 4 Hertz, right, or I could just pull the slider. So that's a great feature. I like that because it makes things simple, right? So
yeah, you can set it up as you like. It's almost it's everywhere the same setting that you're adjusting.
Yeah.
And just a little insider tip, if you click the alpha beta labels, if you click in the middle, you get another value than clicking on the left or the right of the beta and alpha buttons. You can.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If you click right of the alpha, then you get the higher alpha, and the lower alpha.
Oh, cool.
It's like
Am I doing it right?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's pretty interesting. I like that. Okay. So now that I have my 4 Hertz frequency, right, and you had mentioned setting the loop, is that what we're talking about here? Is the continuous mode, or how do I facilitate that from where I'm at?
Actually, the continuous mode is I haven't really worked with this because it was somewhat a feature that I added not so long ago, and I didn't really use it a lot.
Okay.
I always do it with play with Ableton, the MIDI notes. So you could just play. Press play in Ableton.
Okay, so I'm gonna just do that. All right, so we have my loop going for my 4 Hertz, and now this is a binaural beat. Now, how do we add a monaural beat over top of this or together with it?
This is pretty simple. You can just use the pulse slider directly there.
Okay.
This is 0% is 100% binaural beat, and 100% is 100% monaural beat.
Wow, I love that. Okay, so that's what the pulse slider does.
Yes.
Now, now am I programming this change to happen? Like, so maybe am I changing this? So am I like over time making this switch between the two using some of the automation in Ableton, or am I doing it some other way? How does that work?
If you want to have both effects of monaural beats and binaural beats, then you might want to set the pulse to 50% the whole time.
Let's see. Oh, okay. I get it now. Yeah.
So now you have both, like, 50-50, and that would be like the blend between the both of them, and it's pretty simple here in Huon.
I like that. Wow. So that I mean that's a pretty cool feature. Let me go ahead and stop this for a second. So I also noticed in here that you have I want to say is the SOU for Solfeggio frequencies, or what does the SOU represent here?
That represents sound.
Oh, like sound. Okay.
Sound design, something.
So does it have its own built-in sounds?
You can try them out. This was a friend of mine, which helped me also with a few things with Huon. He created those presets. You can.
I don't really hear a significant difference. Let me try the plucked. Okay, I see. It's more of a sequence. Okay, I get it. So I definitely misunderstood that. Now that I'm thinking about it, my ADHD brain is saying I put SOU when it should be SOL, right? Solfeggio. So, but that's pretty cool. Let me try the Cosm keys. Okay, I do hear the sound difference. It's funny because I'm listening to this not coming through the session. I'm listening it through my my studio speakers. But either in any case, this is really awesome. So now, okay, so let's just assume that I can use these sounds, and I'm gonna go back up here to the default for a moment. But
can I just one question? Do you have the Zoom audio device set up in Ableton? Because I can't hear.
Yeah, let me do that. Yeah, I can do that. Let me move this off screen. Audio. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Yeah, yes. So now the difference is I can't hear it anymore.
Okay.
Let me hold on. Let me go here. You got to play with these settings. Sometimes Ableton is fickle. And although I'm in a recording studio. This is a different Mac that I'm using. It's older, so it's a little wonky. But it's kind of like I have so much stuff on it. I have 3 way better ones, like with everything in them. But I haven't. You know, it's like you're so comfortable in your old house, you don't want to move in the new house because that means you have to rearrange everything again. That's kind of where I'm at.
Should I quickly navigate you to use a workaround for that?
Oh, what's that?
To go to the MIDI audio settings in your Mac, like just Command space and then MIDI. And no, that wasn't the right. That wasn't the right.
Oh yeah, MIDI control.
MIDI audio settings.
Yeah, that was weird. So command space, MIDI audio. Set up that one. That's the one I want.
Yes. And now you can press the plus button on the bottom left and create a multi-output device, I think. And then you can select everything you want to output. And I think that's it, right? Yeah.
I think that's
And
it.
then you can use this device in Ableton, and then you have audio to all.
It's not allowing me to unclick things. Oh. Trying to unclick. Okay, there we go. Select. That's where come on. It's not giving me the ones I want. It's like delayed. Okay, I want those devices. Okay. And that's it, right?
Yes, and then you have to set the audio device in Ableton
No,
to this
which
device.
one should I set as? Okay, to the new multi-output device?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I see. Daniel, you're out here. You're changing lives, buddy. I didn't even know that existed before. Sir, you are my hero, okay? I did not. I've been a Mac user for 35 years, and I have to say with shame that I had no idea. I knew that it existed. I didn't know that you could do that. So, yeah, this is... If I only walked away with just that, I won today. I won the day, my friend. So maybe I misunderstood with, does the tool have the capability of creating a solfeggio frequency, right? Because what I kind of got lost is I looked in here and I looked at the different parameters, and I saw solfeggio, and I got excited because I was thinking, okay, well, I know that I can create a solfeggio frequency because let's just say, and I don't want to say if it's 728, I have some notes here around here somewhere, but I know, like, if you look at the solfeggio frequencies, which are the natural harmonics of the universe, there was one in particular that I was trying to create. I think it was like 7, and I know I'm going to be wrong, so let me flip through my notes real quick. I look all studious on camera trying to figure this out. And you know, one of the things about me I could tell you is I'm never ashamed of not knowing something, right? That is the beauty of life, is to be a seeker of knowledge. And I can tell you, you know, people say, well, hey, aren't you a doctor? Yes, I am, but I'm not a doctor of everything, right?
Yeah.
But I am a student. But I am, however, a student of everything,
Yeah.
right?
It's so nice to hear, because you can stop searching your notes, because I found myself years ago at the same point, and I thought I need to integrate something into Huon that help people with remember every frequency. And I can just show you one little side tool. If you go right in the right top, there is this note list there. If you press this, then you get a full list of all the frequencies.
and just for the people watching, I swear this is not at all rehearsed. I literally was trying to find my notes like this, and yeah, this is, dude, this is why I love this. This is amazing. Wow.
Yeah, and there are all the frequencies, planet frequencies, solfeggio frequencies.
I'm struggling to and oh my god, so you have it mapped here. So wait a minute. So I click this little icon, right? And I'm noticing that it's changing the note, and it's changing on the parameters below it. That is insane, my friend. Wow. Okay, so I don't have to remember it. I can just click here and it's going to set it up for me. And then there's more information. So if I click on this is going to link me to a website that's going to explain this for me, right?
This is the source of the information.
Oh,
the
okay.
URL. So
Okay.
I took the description, and there are a lot of sources, and I wanted to give the source where I got this from.
Daniel, I have to tell you, man, this is amazing because at one point, right, I when I started trying to understand solfeggio frequencies and how they relate to the different chakras, and this is great because this list is movable, so I can see, okay, at 396, that's the root chakra, and at one point I was trying to map it to color, colors, right? So the color, and I really got real, I went down again. ADHD will take you down some serious rabbit holes, my friend. But what I'm loving here is that you're saying, okay, well, that 396 is closely tuned here to the note of C sharp 4 or D flat 4, right? And then here's the frequency. Now, I do know, or what I've read is that the solfeggio frequencies are a little out of tune with, modern music. Are these
Yeah.
the exact equivalents of what they are on the keyboard, or the adjusted versions of that?
Yeah, so you see the lower note and the upper note there,
Mm-hmm.
and the lower distance and the upper distance,
Yeah.
and the so the
Let me pull this so they can see this. Okay, so we have the lower distance and the upper distance. Let's just look at 396, right? So it's -4 and then plus 19.3,
yes,
right?
and
Is that
so
what we're looking at here?
yeah, and this list could help you if you need those differences to tune. So let's say maybe you have a whole production and you want to tune everything so that it's a solfeggio frequency like 528 matches perfectly to all the other sounds. Then you could tune like all other instruments with these values, like the lower distance or the upper distance, and tune it to where it needs to be. And this list should help you with getting these values quickly.
Yeah, and that's what I was reading about. That so I can even tune my live instruments to that as well. If I had a guitar here and a tuner, I can tune the guitar and then record a live part that matches that. That is super awesome. Wow. Now, harmonically, if let's just say I am working with the 528 and as they call it, the love frequency. I hear that a lot, that 528 is the love frequency. I don't know how true that is, but it sounds fantastic. But I could tell you this. Let's just say I'm in that range of C5 and C5 and then C sharp 5. Let's just say I have music created in C minor. Is there some type of, harmonic distortion that's happening because of my song is not tuned exactly to my frequency? Or does it really make a difference? Because I've heard, when it comes to binaural beats, I've heard like some, maybe they're running like let's just say 4 hertz, and it's a 4 hertz tone that's kind of running through this music, but the music might be, the whole music composition is in E flat, E minor, right? Or whatever. Does it make a difference for what the listener's hearing? Because let's just say for example, the binaural beat is at 4 hertz and the composition is composed in E minor. Does that become problematic at all?
Yeah, so
again, not a musician, so although I make music and I understand these things based off of using tools, I started off as a DJ and then producing hip hop on samplers and drum machines, right?
Yeah.
Not really understanding what those harmonics were, just kind of going with what sounded good to me, which translated into years of, understanding how things work. But I probably, to be perfectly honest, if you played two different keys, I would struggle to tell you what they were. Right? I mean, I can hear, I hear it. I know they're different. I couldn't tell you exactly. Well, that's a C sharp, or that's a D. Yeah, I couldn't do that. I know people that can. I mean, it's a talent, but I don't possess that, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. So the thing is, you're asking, does it make a difference, and is this a problem? The question is, what is still or always what I found is, what is the important thing is, what do you want to achieve in the first place? So the question, if you want to achieve irritating the listener, then it would be like a good idea to have a detuned tone within your music production, right? If your aim is to bring the listener into coherence and balance, then it might be a better idea to integrate a sound that is in tune, in harmony with your production. This is how I would see it. Always, because also with the settings for everything, so the question is, what do you want to achieve, right? And if you want to achieve coherence and harmony, and this is, in the beginning I thought everyone would want to bring others in coherence, but there might be people who have other goals, something.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So, while I know we're kind of coming towards the time, and I would love to stay on forever and do another session, but really quickly, what does the rhythm converter do? What's the purpose of the rhythm converter? And I see some of this is still in German. Is that no? What's?
Yeah, this is German. Okay.
Which is cool because it helps me learn.
So these are all the tools that helps you integrating binaural beats into your existing music production. Also, you asked me what is the sync to BPM button.
Okay.
Let's say you have a music production. Let it be chill hop or something. You have maybe 80 BPM, and you want to find a frequency for the binaural beat or the isochronic tone that is in rhythm with your BPM of 80. Then you can. This is the rhythm calculator for. So you set up your BPM, and then you get this list of which frequencies are suitable for your project in milliseconds and in hertz. So now you see, okay, I could, if I want to have like if I want to, then I can use, for example, 5.33 hertz, and if I want the theta, and then I know this is in tune with my 80 BPM of my project.
Yeah, so I could say 533, and then the intervals, I would set that up for the pulse. Would that be the pulse intervals, or where does the intervals apply here?
Nothing really. So you can use it maybe at some point you want to know what milliseconds it is.
Okay.
But it's not necessary. You don't have to use it if you don't need to. It's more like add-on tool that you can use to help
Okay.
yourself, because I found myself calculating with a calculator, and I thought this can be easier if it's just within.
Now, I noticed something that once I had changed this to 533, right? So I had that to 533, and I set my tempo here in Ableton to 80, right? Assuming that we're going to use the converter to, like I said, to calculate. So we're going to look at 533 hertz, and that's a quarter notes, right? So the sync to BPM is quarter notes. When I hit sync, right? If I hit sync here, it changed it to 2 hertz. Did I reset it or something, or why does it do that?
Okay, let us check the settings on the right top. There is this settings symbol, and now the other settings.
No,
so
sorry, not this one here.
No, to the right. On the
here.
This one, yes. And there on the left side, there is this global BPM is set to 120. This is like the Huon global BPM. Right now you are using the global BPM, and if you click sync BPM, then it will use
now to Ableton.
the Ableton BPM, and if you go back and press sync, then you get the values that you are aiming for.
Wow. So when I go here and I can check it, 133 is at 1/16. Now, so okay.
Okay,
I
so
can change this to 1/16 if I wanted to.
Okay. It's somehow there is maybe a mistake. Maybe it's the other way around.
Yeah. Let's see, 1/4, 1. Okay. So yeah, as I play with it, I see that they're connected. Okay. And it's changing the frequency.
Yeah. So this
now is that a bug, or is that something that
it's just it's a bug, or it's something I set up wrong, because it just make how to say it reversed the list, so to say.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, look, I'm here to help, man. So, we're discovering things or having fun. This is a new, so everybody knows that this is a very new program, but it's super dope, and I think a game changer in a lot of ways, because again, you have managed to, just in this short time period that we're talking, answer a ton of questions for me, but alleviate the frustration that I've had with trying to learn this, right? Because there is no real school of thought in sense of like, I can't go, or I've been struggling. I'm not going to say it doesn't exist somewhere, but I've read tons of different websites telling you how to do this, right? There's not a lot of videos showing you how to do this. And the ones that are kind of go really fast. They don't go into detail, and they're not about a cohesive place, right? And what you've managed to do is not only create an app, a plugin that, the standalone or VST plugin that can be used, but you put all the kind of baked in all of the training and tutorial stuff to help you understand not just how to use the tool, but why you're using the tool, right? Especially when, we coming into some of these starting points, we come into these, the different frequency stuff, the other parameters that you have here in the rhythm converter. I think that's super valuable, because at the same time, I want to use it, but I want to learn how to use it properly. And that's where I kind of felt like the entire community had fallen short until I discovered you, because I had all of these little bits of information, and in my mind, I'm trying to figure out how to put it all together, and you've done that here. So, my friend, this is fantastic. Again, we're
Thank
at
you.
time, so I'm not going to keep you, and I definitely want to get on another session. What I'd like to do is kind of go and implement what I've done and what I've learned today, and then maybe in a few weeks put together, maybe a composition, and then come on and do another quick session where I show you what I created and we talk about how I did it with the tool, right? And what I've learned. Because still day one novice to this, right? I mean, I don't know how that sounds to you, but
Yeah, sounds
You
good.
know,
So as you talk, I have the idea or the inspiration. Like we can also make this a series, a video series. So let's say like every week or every 2 weeks we make another video of these, and I answer all your questions. And I think this would be like a very nice path for also others to follow your progress,
Yeah.
our progress in this video series. And yeah, so I can totally imagine, I don't know what interval suits you, but we could do another session next week or something, or in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
And
I'm thinking about like every 2 week cadence, because I do travel a lot. In fact, I'm traveling tonight, so I travel a lot for work, and then I have different businesses that I'm just building. I don't know you're going to cut this out of the recording, but because why I speak like an educator, because I own a learning and development company I did own a learning and development company that after years I had to close down because of a lot that went on here in the U.S. economy with DE&I, and then the advent of AI kind of deducting a lot of the value out of what I do, right? Before AI, it was valuable. I could charge a lot of money to create the type of training. So what I did was I've created over 300 courses. So
Wow.
textbooks, courses, and all kinds of stuff. So that's kind of why I talk the way I do and recap things. But I think turning this into not only like the video series, but also some other training where, hey, I can maybe watching a video doesn't help me, but downloading, this PowerPoint deck that has, information on what I should do, or step by step things like that. I think that's always a great idea as well, because for me, again, this journey is twofold. It's one, having a tool that does this so I don't have to go in and learn how to be, I pull up Serum, I load up the presets that I want. Sometimes I'll tweak them and play with them. You have guys that are producers that are the ones that go in and they they're sound designers and they shape them. I'm not one of those guys. Never had an interest. I've owned lots of recording studios. Not an engineer, not really a musician at all. I know what I like. I know what sounds good. I know what, as a DJ, that I'm extraordinarily good at. I know what people are going to dance to. I know what they're going to like, the trends, etc. When I was producing hip-hop, sampling things, using other people's records, I have an ear for combining. I could take 7 records and make a new record out of it, and just by luck, it's all in the same key. But I guess it's because I can hear it. But I couldn't identify and say, oh, well, Art Blakey is doing this, and Thelonious Monk is doing that, and the James Brown sample is in, D-flat, right? I don't know any of that. Someone else could tell you that, but I just know it sounded good together and it works, right? So for guys who are producers who kind of do it by ear and then, stock sounds, right? I might layer for one drum kick. I might have 5 kicks combined into one to make this fat drum kick, right? Or I may have 3 different basses going that I've EQ'd, some of the low end out or the whatever, the mid-range out, and kind of stacked it and made this new thing. Whereas you have the guys that go in and, I'm going to make a new sound. I'm going to take a tone and I'm going to drop it down to 50 hertz and make, and build something. I think your tool is the best of both of those worlds, right? For the guy who's going to go in and get surgical, it's there. For the guy like me who's not surgical and goes, I need a preset, this is what's going to do it. But so you add that and add the value of you're teaching me the why behind I'm doing. Why, I know my global why is, right, I want to create meditative music. I want to create things that help people healing music. But at the same time, wow, I don't want to create harmonic distortion. I don't want to create something that's, like you said, if your goal is to irritate someone, go ahead and detune, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, brother, I so appreciate what you're doing, man. This has been a very transformative experience, and I'm grateful that I could be on the journey with you, man. This is super dope.
Yeah, I'm also very happy. I had a lot of fun in this video with you, and I'm very happy to continue this road with you together, and I'm happy that you're so motivated using Huon and binaural beats and stuff. So yeah, very happy.
So give me about 2 weeks. I'm gonna put together a beat, and I'm gonna build the whole thing out, and then we'll come on and we'll break it up, and you take it. If it's bad, it's bad. If it's great, it's great. If it can be improved, it can be improved. If we have to throw it out, it's all about the journey, brother. I appreciate it.
Perfect.
Well, I gotta run. Take it easy, and we'll talk soon, my friend.
Yeah, so have a nice day.
Yeah, you have a nice evening, buddy.
Thank you. Bye bye.